Hello everyone, welcome to the BioBlitz Brilliance, where you meet contents with clarity. So today the topic we are going to discuss about the part of a central nervous system which is known as spinal cord. When we talk about the spinal cord, in the previous lecture we have seen that it is an extension of the brain part that is known as medulla oblongata. So in this picture, as you can see, this is the brain part and this downward portion is the part of hindbrain, that is medulla oblongata, and it's continuing downward in a structure which is known as spinal cord. So as we mentioned, it is a downward extension of medulla oblongata. Now, the part of medulla oblongata which continues down as a spinal cord, it is known as central or a neural canal. Central or neural canal is basically a long whitish tube-like structure which is covered externally by two layers. Central canal is covered by two layers, and the first most layer is the meninges, which is of two layers, dura mater, arachnoid matter and pia mater, and from the above it is vertebral column. Vertebral column is basically a bony structure. तो सेंट्रल या न्यूरल कैनाल को दो लेयर सपोर्ट या प्रोटेक्शन प्रोवाइड करते हैं. पहला होता है मेनिंजेस और उसके ऊपर का लेयर होता है बोनी स्ट्रक्चर जिसे हम कहते हैं वर्टेब्रल कॉलम. So the neural canal or a central canal which is running centrally as well as the vertebral column both constitute the structure known as spinal cord. Central canal, it is a long, soft, white, thick tube-like structure. Now, starting from the neck region, it means the cervical region. The spinal cord is basically divided into 5 regions. First one from the neck region, second that is known as cervical region, second thoracic yani chest region, third abdominal region, it means lumbar region, fourth the sacral region, that is pelvic region, and fourth coccyx region, that is end part, which is also known as tailbone. So as you can see in this structure, the whole spinal cord is divided into 5 parts: cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacral and coccyx. The number mentioned over here, in the cervical 8, in thoracic 12, in lumbar 5, sacral 5 and coccyx 1, it is the pair of the spinal nerves which comes out of the spinal cord. In the cervical region 8 pair of spinal nerves, thoracic region 12 pair of spinal nerves, lumbar region 5 pair of spinal nerves, sacral region 5 pair of spinal nerves and coccyx region 1 pair of spinal nerves. So in total, starting from the cervical area till the coccyx region, the spinal cord distributes 31 pair of spinal nerves. So it is mentioned over here, spinal cord is divided into 5 major regions. As you can see over here, from the coccyx part, nerves are coming out, which are known as sacral and coccygeal nerves. Now this part is basically the terminal part. It means the ending part of the spinal cord. Hence it is known as filum terminale. And the sacral and the coccygeal region nerves which are coming out from here, ये एक basically बोलते हैं ना horse के tail की तरह दिखता है. Hence this is mentioned as cauda equina. Equina represents a family of horses and cauda means tail. So this last terminal part of this structure is looking like a horse tail. Hence the term mentioned for this is cauda equina. Now, when we take the TS of this structure from here to here, the TS of spinal cord looks like this. Now let us discuss about the next structure, that is TS of spinal cord, transverse section of spinal cord. In the TS of the spinal cord, you will see the central canal in which there is an internal layering of ependymal cells. Now what are ependymal cells? As we have studied before, ependymal cells are the cells in the spinal cord which is responsible for the secretion of CSF यानी cerebrospinal fluid. इसके यहाँ से जो ये अपर लेयर होता है वो बना होता है आपका ग्रे मैटर से यानी सेल बॉडी साइटोन से, और इसके जो साइड के पार्ट होते हैं वो बने होते हैं व्हाइट मैटर से यानी माइलिनेटेड एक्सॉन से. अब अगर हम यहाँ पे देखेंगे तो ये अपर वाला पार्ट को पोस्टीरियर पार्ट बताया गया और मिडल और नीचे वाले पार्ट को एंटीरियर पार्ट बताया गया. When I stand like this, the part of this region towards the spinal cord faces is the anterior part, and the part which is faces backward, that is dorsal part or the posterior part. So in the TS, starting from the fissure part, fissure is basically the depression which comes over here. Here you can see this is the posterior median fissure, and here you can see this is the anterior median fissure. Anterior median fissure will be present on the ventral side of the spinal cord, and posterior median fissure will be present on the dorsal side of spinal cord. Due to this posterior and anterior fissure, this whole white part is divided into 3 regions, that is known as funiculus. This upper part is known as dorsal funiculus, this ventral part is known as ventral funiculus and this lateral part is known as lateral funiculus. Now moving on to the next part. The part which comes out over here in the dorsal region is known as dorsal horn and the structure which is here is known as dorsal root. In the same manner ventral part में जो रहता है इसे हम ventral horn कहते हैं और इसे हम ventral roots कहते हैं. Now what this is for the ventral horn and ventral root, dorsal horn, dorsal root we will study next. यहाँ से होता क्या है exactly. And the thing which is we have studied before that spinal cord के ऊपर startingly तीन layers present होते हैं जिसे हम meninges कहते हैं. So this is the dura mater, this is the arachnoid matter and this is the pia mater. You can remember this as the word DAP. D represents dura matter, A represents arachnoid matter and P represents pia matter. We also know that pia matter is highly vascular. Now this point is very much important according to the perspective of CT and NEET. Pia matter जो रहता है बहुत ज़्यादा vascular होता है. क्यों? क्योंकि वहाँ पे surrounding होते हैं blood vessels के या फिर वो blood vessels के बने होते हैं. तो आपका ये जो pia matter होगा वो richly supplied होगा with the presence of blood vessels. So this was about the spinal TS or spinal cord. Now let us see what this TS or spinal cord means और यहाँ से होता क्या है. In the previous lecture when we studied about the types of neuron depending upon the function. So this is the minute structure, microscopic structure of TS spinal cord. This is the dorsal horn, this is the ventral horn, this is the dorsal root, this is the ventral root. Now what exactly does the spinal cord functions? When we see from here there is an entry of sensory neuron. Sensory neuron को हम ascending tract भी बोलते हैं या ascending nerve भी बोलते हैं. And from here comes out the exit of motor neuron जिसको हम descending tract भी कहते हैं. तो spinal cord के अंदर sensory neuron एक तरीके का impulse या signal लेके जाता है जिसे हम sensory signal या sensory impulse कहते हैं. When it goes inside the TS or spinal cord or inside the spinal cord, there is a other neuron present which is association neuron or relay neuron. This association neuron or intermediate or relay neuron helps to convert the sensory signal or sensory impulse into the motor signal or motor impulse. And this converted motor signal or motor impulse will be coming out, that is when the exit with the help of motor neuron. So this motor neuron which will be coming out taking motor signal or motor impulse. You can say it is basically the reaction signal or reaction impulse. So this was about the TS or spinal cord and how does the reflex actions form. Let us discuss what is the exact function of the spinal cord. As we all know, it is basically the mains, as it is a part of central nervous system, so it will be the main center of reflex action. Reflex action means the actions which we are performing in our daily to daily activities. It is the main center of reflex action. It connects the spinal cord to the brain via the nerve tracts or the nerve fibers. Third, it is a pathway for conduction of impulses. If any कोई भी nerve या कोई भी signal या impulses अगर brain से spinal cord के पास आना है, spinal cord से brain के पास जाना है, तो ये जो होता है basically एक pathway की तरह काम करता है for the conduction of impulses from brain to spinal cord and vice versa. So this was all about the structure of spinal cord, TS of spinal cord. If you have understood all the content, please do watch the complete video. Like, share and subscribe for the upcoming more contents. And the next part which we are going to study about is eye and third next ear. Thank you so much.